capacity crowd, 60,000 at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. It's the Bengals home opener as they go up against the Los Angeles Raiders. 33-year-old head coach David Shula hopes to continue Cincinnati's winning ways. And for David, yes, it is a difficult act to follow, while Jay Schroeder continues to be the focus of yet another quarterback controversy coming off the loss in Denver last Sunday night. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Bill Parcells. Bill, you have certainly been through your share of various quarterback controversy. Schroeder goes 7 for 24 last week, intercepted twice, lost a couple of fumbles. The second-year man, Todd Marinovich, waiting in the wings. How will this all play out?
Well, Todd Marinovich is going to be the Raider quarterback someday, and if Schroeder doesn't improve his performance dramatically very soon, I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. The thing about this one, though, Marv, when they make the change to Marinovich, they're not going back to Jay Schroeder.
And Cincinnati's victory in Seattle last Sunday was sparked by their new-look defense. Their new defensive coordinator, Ron Lynn, has implemented an aggressive attacking style, and it led to 2 recovered fumbles for touchdowns.
Well, the thing about Ron Lynn's style of defense, though, the Raiders are familiar with it since Ron comes from San Diego. However, Cincinnati players have taken to the defense very well. 6 sacks last week. Only 21 all last year. The players are sold on this defense. I think they're going to work hard to try and stop that Raider passing game today.
Well, the Cincinnati Bengals are back to receive Jeff Jager with the kickoff, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. So the Bengals winning the toss, and they will start up from their 20. Well, extracurricular action off the special team units getting together. Now look at that offensive line, and Kirk Sprafford, a 3-year man out of Montana, is starting instead of the scheduled right guard, John Nylander. Nylander out with a viral infection. Boomer Esiason, the quarterback, the running backs, Eric Ball and Harold Green, and the receivers, Tim McGee, Reggie Rembert, and the tight end, Rodney Holman. When they go to the spread, the extra receivers, Brian Brennan, the one-time Cleveland Brown, and the rookie from Tennessee, Carl Pickens. And they open up with the 3 tight end alignment. Esiason throwing on first down goes to the tight end, Rodney Holman. A check of the Raider defensive unit. Long, Golick, Harrison, and Bruce up front. Wallace, Ellison, and Moss are the linebackers. The Bengals operating from the no huddle, getting right to it on the 2nd down and 5. And it's Esiason, stopped by Aaron Wallace. And there is the front 7 for the Los Angeles Raiders. And the secondary, McDaniel, Washington, Lott, and Anderson. Ronnie Lott in his 2nd year with the Raiders after coming over from San Francisco on Plan B, and he has emerged as the leader of the Raider defensive unit. When they go to the Bandit, the extra defensive backs, Dorn and Land check in. It is a 3rd down and 3 at the 27.
Well, the Bengals started with the first 2 plays with the 3 tight end offense. Now they got a couple of wide receivers in here, and they have the 3rd one in the backfield.
And Boomer Esiason holding for time. So Boomer did not like the looks of things as he checked out the defense, and the timeout is taken. At 33 years of age, David Shula, the youngest coach in the NFL. I asked David, did he talk to his dad after the win over Seattle on Sunday? Billy said yes. His father called, said congratulations, but I've got to go. I have a meeting.
Yeah, he didn't pay too much attention to that win. He's got his own problems.
3rd down and 3 from the 27. The lone deep back is Harold Green. And Esiason trying to connect with Tim McGee, who took the hit from the left corner Terry McDaniel.
And Andre Bruce, number 56, was right on Esiason there. He gives him a good lick. They just turned him loose on the protection. The Bengals obviously missed an assignment there.
So Lee Johnson will drop back to his 10-yard line. Lee Johnson, left-footed punter and kicker. That's Tim Brown, who last season averaged 11.5 yards per punt return, tied for the AFC lead, and made the Pro Bowl as a kick return man. Brown up across the 40-yard line. Eric Ball involved in the stop, a 46-yard punt and a 13-yard return by Brown. And Jay Schrader leads the offense onto the field. Wilkerson, Wisniewski, Mosbar, Montoya, and Wright are up front. A very solid offensive line. Eric Dickerson and Steve Smith are the running backs. And the Raiders with a host of speedy receivers. Galt, Fernandez, and Horton will start up. Marcus Allen and Tim Brown come in when Martell goes to the Bear alignment. As a first down at the 41, the Jungle is back in business. Penalty markers down, and Schrader able to complete to Willie Galt. No, it's jarred loose. Took a hit. Barney Bussey, the strong safety, with a good shot on Galt, but let's check out the flags.
Now the Raiders had two guys in motion, Tim Brown and the running back Eric Dickerson, so this is going to be a legal motion penalty on Los Angeles.
Illegal motion on the offense. They were not set. Penalties declined. Second down.
Referee is Dale Hamer. Cincinnati's front seven: Rogers, Crumbride, mids up front. The linebackers Francis, Bentley, Walker, and Stubbs. And in the secondary, Jones, Thomas, Bussey, and Vincent. David Fulcher out of action with viral meningitis. He'll miss the first 4 games of the season. Second down and 10 from the 41. Dickerson is stopped for a loss. Alonzo Mitz, number 99, the right defensive end, with the wraps on Eric Dickerson.
Well, one of the things you try to do on long yardage, obviously, is the draw play. Here you go, Dickerson on the draw, but the Raiders left tackle, Bruce Wilkinson, must have missed Alonzo Mitz because he's 5 yards in the backfield. Sometimes when you try that draw against the pass rush, the quickness of those defensive linemen take them right into the play, and that's what happened right there.
And this crowd is reacting. As I mentioned, the Jungle at Riverfront is back in business. The screen goes incomplete. Intended from Marcus Allen, who has been a forgotten man. And that is the new defensive coordinator of the Bengals, Ron Lynn, who certainly had to enjoy that opening Raider series.
Well, he tried to put a little pressure on Schrader there with the screen. The Raiders are in good position to execute that screen, but Schrader's throw was a little errant, and Allen couldn't handle it. It was a zone defense. They could have made pretty good yardage if that ball was completed.
Jeff Gossett is back at his 20, and he is a directional punter. David Shula telling us that they would go with 2 deep.
Well, you see they have them back there right now. They've got Carl Pickens and Milt Stegall. They're trying to compensate for this directional punting.
And it's taken by Pickens. So the rookie from Tennessee was handcuffed. Elvis Patterson, a close personal friend of yours from his days as a Giant, in on the tackle.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by the new Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right. By Radio Shack, America's technology store. Nobody compares. By Goodyear, #1 in tires. And by cold filtered Keystone, Keystone Light and Keystone Dry. Bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great?
Welcome back to Cincinnati. Elvis Patterson, one of the leaders of the Raiders special teams. As I mentioned, a one-time Giant in on that tackle a moment ago. You're the man who dubbed him Toast when he was a member of your defensive secondary. What was that all about?
Well, that was really an affectionate term of endearment. He was getting beat so frequently in practice, he was getting burned, and so we started calling him the Toast.
First down from the 15. Esiason with the tie. And he goes incomplete, intended for Reggie Rembert. Eddie Anderson on the coverage. Of course, Elvis had a different interpretation. He claimed that he was the Toast of the town, but now he says he's the Ghost. He's changed the nickname because he said on special teams where he has excelled, opponents don't know where he's coming from. Very lovely chain that referred to Casper, the Ghost.
Well, he was the Toast of the town one day down in Philadelphia when he intercepted a pass in 1985 and ran it back for a touchdown, and that's when he began to think of himself as the Toast of the town.
Harold Green with the good run, stopped by the free safety. Eddie Anderson, that goes for 8. It sets up a 3rd down and 2. I know Elvis had a license plate while he was a member of the Giants that said Toast. He's changed that to Ghost. Said Toast is the East Coast license plate that he maintained. Ghost on the West. No score with 3.5 gone by in this first quarter. Boomer off the roll. Intended for Reggie Rembert, who last week came up with 5 receptions for 47 yards, despite the fact that he has been bothered by a sore neck.
Reggie Rembert just doesn't get his feet down in bounds or have possession of the ball, and is very, very good coverage on the part of Lionel Washington, the right corner. Tight on Rembert. Rembert can't handle that reception. Bengals use interchangeable parts on their offense. They train their backs to be wide receivers. That last play had Eric Ball split out wide. They train their backs to be tight ends. They train their tight ends to split out sometime. It's kind of a unique offense with interchangeable parts.
Good punt by Johnson, and at the last instant, Tim Brown called fair catch. That's a 52-yard punt for Lee Johnson. So when we come back, the Raiders back to the offense. Art Shell in his 3rd year as head coach of the Los Angeles Raiders, his 25th year in the Raiders organization. A Hall of Famer after playing 15 seasons with the Raiders. He was telling us yesterday, obviously he'd like to see Jay Schroeder do well, but if things do go astray, he would have no problem at all in making the move today to Todd Marinovich.
Well, I think he's trying to give Jay Schroeder the benefit of the doubt. I think the whole organization is, but if things don't go well, I think you're going to see Marinovich.
Eric Dickerson. And he was stopped by the nose tackle, Tim Crumry. We're set for an update. Let's go to our New York studios for Bob Costas.
All right, Marv, performing against his old Seahawk teammates, Dave Craig will throw his first Kansas City Chief touchdown pass. He'll find J.J. Burden over the middle, then Burden outruns 3 defenders to the goal line, and KC goes up 7-0. Meanwhile, Bill, your old club, the Giants, trailing at home against the Cowboys. It's already 14-0 Dallas at the Meadowlands.
All right, Bob, Giants trailing 14-0 to the Dallas Cowboys, Bill.
Well, I'll tell you, that's hard to believe at Giant Stadium. The Cowboys haven't won up there in about 6 years.
That is Ray Bentley, who was injured on that last play of the run by Eric Dickerson. Ray acquired from Buffalo, Plan B, played 6 years with the Bills. He has established himself as one of the leaders of the Cincinnati defense. He calls the signals for the Bengals.
This is a very significant injury for Cincinnati. Bentley told us yesterday in our meeting with him, he controls the fronts, he calls the coverages, he makes the adjustments on the line of scrimmage. And if he's not able to go, there you see Bentley on the left side, number 57, coming across. Looks like he gets hit right at the kneecap, probably hyperextended his knee by the looks of that picture right there. But
so Ray Bentley being helped to the sideline. We'll take a break. Back in a moment. Ray Ray Bentley sitting it out. We'll pass on a report as soon as it comes across. He's been replaced by Ricardo McDonald, a rookie, 4th-round draft pick out of Pittsburgh. So he takes over at left inside linebacker. 2nd down, 7. Raiders from their 28. Schrader goes up top. The pass intended for Willie Gault, covered by the left corner, Rod Jones. To this point, no first downs for either side, and we have gone 4.5 minutes. That's Todd Marinovich, 2nd-year player out of the University of Southern Cal. He threw only 40 passes as a rookie, spending most of the season as an idle 3rd stringer. You'll recall he started the season finale against Kansas City, did a good job, and then Raiders went with him in the wild card against the Chiefs, and he had a rough time. 3rd down and 7. And the Raiders have a first down. Marcus Allen hooking up with Jay Schrader. Oh, some beautiful moves by Allen, getting inside the 35. Barney Bussey made the stop.
It's a definite missed assignment on the part of the Cincinnati defense, because Marcus Allen, to the right of the screen there, has no one on him. Now, in every defense, there's got to be a man assigned to cover the eligible receivers, and there's no one on Allen. So you know there's a busted assignment there somewhere. May have been the new entry, Ricardo McDonald, who just got in the game.
38-yard pass play. Marcus Allen last week carried the ball only once for 4 yards, coming off an injury-hit season. First down at the 37. Schrader getting the time again. There's a man wide open. Touchdown, Tim Brown. Tim Brown beating the left corner, Rod Jones, on a 37-yard pass play.
Schrader there sprinting to his left, throwing back against the zone defense. Kind of faked the safety out of position. Rod Jones was a corner, was sinking back in the coverage, but it wasn't a man-to-man defense. The safety was the man out of position on that reception. Now Schrader hit that wide open receiver. He missed Willie Gault a little earlier on a pass that could have been a big play. So they've tried 2 bombs down the field, and Schrader's 1 for 2 so far.
Jager puts it through. The Raiders with a 7-0 lead. So Jay Schrader with the touchdown pass. And the Raiders go 4 plays, 75 yards in 1 minute and 24.
Well, here you see the wide receiver, Tim Brown, working against these 2 guys right here. In around Jones, Schrader going this way, holds this safety there, and they hit Brown down the sideline. You see Brown escapes from the corner, safety's out of position. Easy throw, just a gimme touchdown for the Raiders right there. The sprint out to the left is what froze that safety there and let Brown escape from the corner.
And Bill, a illustration of what the Raiders like to call their vertical philosophy, going down the field.
Well, Schrader says yesterday in the meeting, this is one reason why his percentage of completion isn't going to be like a Joe Montana, 65%, because they're going to throw 8 or 10 balls down the field over 30 yards. You see the first quarter, they've already thrown 2. You're not going to have that higher rate of completion when you throw the ball down the field 30 or 40 yards.
On the return by Eric Ball, spinning to the 10. Good coverage by the Raiders, led by Dave Waymer, the 13-year man out of Notre Dame, man you're familiar with, signed as a Plan B free agent, one-time Saint, spent 10 years with New Orleans, and a one-time San Francisco 49er.
Very good football player. He's one of my arch rivals. The Raiders have 2 or 3 of these guys that I was so used to playing against. Lionel Washington used to be with Phoenix and St. Louis. Dave Waymer, Ronnie Lott. It's like old home week seeing these guys all on one team. And, of course, Elvis is in there with them.
And they were actually happy to see you, I should report.
I don't know about that.
It's a first down from the 10. Harold Green gets the call. Ricky Ellison, the middle linebacker, making the stop. and a half gone by in this first quarter. It's the Raiders 7 and the Bengals nothing. A 4-yard advance for Green. It sets a second down and 6 at the 14. Cincinnati not able to get going in this first quarter. It has been 3 and out their previous 2 series. Again, it's Green. And he's short of the first down. Punched out by the left outside linebacker Aaron Wallace with help from Ricky Ellison.
Well, the key play in that drive was Marcus Allen right here running out in the flat. No Bengals come off in coverage. So you see Marcus just running free, and that was the play that took him into the touchdown zone. He was able to get a touchdown out of this. It's just a complete missed assignment on the part of Cincinnati defense.
Off the 3rd and 2, Cincinnati picks up its first down. Harold Green taking that pass from Boomer Esiason. Free safety Eddie Anderson on the tackle.
Well, they're putting 4 receivers out to one side. All those tight ends release down the field, and then they screen it off to Green in the hope that Green will be away from the defender assigned to cover him in the Raiders' man-to-man defense. So that's the idea that Cincinnati's trying to employ. Push all the eligible receivers off and then screen in behind them.
Esiason off the play fake. Raiders did not buy it, though. The pass went behind the tight end, Jim Riggs, and the Cincinnati offensive unit hearing a smattering of boos from the crowd.
Well, those play fakes against the Raiders with those deep safeties back there, Eddie Anderson, are not going to be too effective because the Raider defensive back's a good fake by Boomer. He's got plenty of time. Doesn't see the deep receiver open and then just tries to outlet it to his tight end.
It's a 2nd and 10 at the 23. 8 minutes to go in this first quarter. Raiders 7 and the Bengals nothing. Esiason going deep down the field, and it is broken up, intended for Tim McGee.
Very tight coverage by Terry McDaniel that time. Again, another play action fake by Boomer Esiason. There's Tim McGee against McDaniel. McDaniel's got perfect coverage. He forces him into the sideline. McGee's out of bounds. He wouldn't have been able to catch that ball anyway. Even if he caught it, it's not a reception.
So Esiason is now 2 of 7. 10 yards. There's McDaniel, 4th year out of Tennessee.
He's an excellent man-to-man coverage defensive corner.
Bump and run style for Terry McDaniel. 3rd down and 10. And Esiason stepping up, able to complete, has a first down with McGee. Anderson on the stop. That goes for 11 yards.
Boomer's able to throw against the grain there, against very, very good pressure by the Raiders. He comes back and finds his receiver for the first down. Now they're using this little no huddle, sugar huddle. He gives everybody their assignments, gets them on the line, trying to put pressure on the Raider defense by not letting them make the call.
And goes to the draw play. Derek Fenner, who checked in. Stopped by Ricky Ellison and Ronnie Lott. Derek Fenner in his 4th year out of North Carolina. One-time Seattle Seahawk. You'll see Jim Anderson signal in the formations from the sideline. 2nd down and 3. 8th play of the drive. You like the no-huddle, Bill? I know you've used it from time to time.
I like the no-huddle. We used it back in '85 a little bit. Not as well as a lot of the teams that are using it right now, but that Jim Anderson, the running back coach, there you see him. He's signaling to the Cincinnati offense the type of personnel they're going to put in the game. Now, in this case, he wiggled his finger above his head. They have 2 wide receivers and 2 backs and a tight end in the game, which is kind of like the regular offensive set of personnel. He also has signals for 3 wide receivers, 3 tight ends. You watch him during the course of the game.
Harold Green last week in Seattle ran for 123 yards, averaged just under 6 yards per carry. Also had 5 catches. Last week, Cincinnati is displaying a new look under David Shula, a fierceness on defense and a running game, something the Bengals have not seen in some time with the departure of James Brooks and Mickey Woods. Harold Green is now the featured back for Cincinnati. And once again, Derek Fenner for the first down. Tripped up by Eddie Anderson.
Well, one of the things about this no-huddle defense, it forces, no-huddle offense, it forces the defense to communicate exactly like the offense is communicating. They got to make their calls without getting in a huddle. They have to communicate to one another. Now Cincinnati just changed personnel on them. They put some new people in the game. They've got 2 tight ends in there and 2 wide receivers and 1 back. And the Raiders have to make the adjustment.
And Derek Fenner running well, able to collect another first down. Winston Moss, Eddie Anderson on the stop. Fenner goes for 13 yards.
Well, this is a double tight end set. And you see the just straight man-to-man blocking, and Derek Fenner into the secondary. Eddie Anderson misses the tackle. Cincinnati's pressuring the Raiders very, very well now. Raiders look like they're getting a little tired on defense. You watch the posture of their defensive player.
What's the downside for the offense of a no-huddle?
The downside is you can't be as specific. You've got a chance to a failure to communicate properly. One guy gets it, the other guy doesn't get it.
Fenner for a short pickup.
See, now here they go. They're changing personnel again. They're putting their 2 back set back in the game, and one of the tight ends and Derek Fenner come out. Now the Raiders have to make all these adjustments defensively as Cincinnati is making the change. Now, if the Raiders tried to change, Boomer might quick snap them and catch them with too many guys on the field.
Second down and 9. And Esiason throws the middle and completes at the 20 to the tight end Riggs, stopped by Ricky Ellison. I know that is not one of your favorite plays.
No, that tight end over the middle. We used to have a rule with the Giants. You weren't allowed to throw the ball 8 yards down the field over the center, but Boomer does it all the time and gets away with it. So, you know, if I had to think it over watching this guy, maybe there is a place for that in your offense.
You would allow it with Boomer?
Well, I think I would. He's been doing it for so long, so successfully, but every time we try to do it, something bad happens. We either got a guy knocked out of the game or a ball tipped for an interception.
It's a 3rd and 3. Harold Green for the touchdown. Good-looking drive that began back at the 10. 15 plays, capped off by a 20-yard run for Green. Good running by Derek Fenner on this series, helping to set it up.
In the no-huddle offense, you can fatigue your own players as well as the defensive players. David Shula was changing the backs to keep fresh backs in on that drive.
Jim Breach line drives it home. 3:06 remaining first quarter, and the Raiders and the Bengals are now tied at 7.
I think fatigue is a big factor in there. You see some of the Raiders running around the block. Good block downfield by number 48, Craig Thompson. You know, this is really a walk-in touchdown. Nobody even really threatens to make the tackle on Green. You see him stiff arm. Ronnie Lott, the last defender, and goes in. Real good running by Eric Green. Harold Green, excuse me. Eric Green's that big tight end for Pittsburgh, and my affection for big guys.
You had this all memorized earlier, right?
Well, I know Eric Ball, you know, Harold Green.
So the Bengals and the Raiders are tied at 7. 14 plays, 90 yards, and they had the ball for 6 minutes and 40 seconds.
Raider defense on the field way too long. 14 plays against the no-huddle. You can see it took its toll right at the end.
Lee Johnson will kick to the combination of Sam Grady and Dan Land. Last Sunday in Seattle, Bengals beat the Seahawks 21-3. Cincinnati trying to turn it from the disastrous 3-13 of a year ago that led to the departure. Watch. Strong kick by Johnson. So they bring it out to the 20-yard line. Well, coming up next on most of these NBC stations, game 2 of our NBA, good Bill, NFL doubleheader. Where is his mind these days? The Bills and the 49ers in the key game. They last met in 1989. The 49ers winning back in 89, 21-10 at Candlestick, sparked by Steve Young. How about Thurman Thomas off to the terrific start last week? Career high, 4 touchdowns, 103 yards on the ground.
Well, you know, that might be the Super Bowl matchup. They got 2 real good clubs. Buffalo very strong again this year, and San Francisco looks like they're on track also. That ought to be a real exciting game.
Crowd back into it. Raiders start from their 20. 3 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Schrader again getting the time. Really picked off on the deflection. Intended for Tim Brown.
Well, there's one of those passes over the middle that could have gone the other way. Schrader dropping back. Tim Brown coming in, stopping, working away. But you see, he should have had that ball. It's tipped up in the air. And here's that area right here, 8 yards down the field. I would not let my quarterback throw the ball in there. You can see that ball tipped up in the air. That could have been a turnover.
Tim Brown now flank.
Linebacker had a chance to intercept.
Brown flank to the left side. And again, Schrader goes to the middle. This time completes to Steve Smith. And a first down picked up by Smith. Able to go 17 yards.
Well, that time, Steve Smith, the Raider fullbacks, one-on-one against the Cincinnati linebacker, James Francis. It's an in-and-out coverage. Smith gets underneath Francis and picks up a nice gain. Schrader put the ball in front of him that time. No chance for interception there.
Bussey and Vincent combined to make the stop. Steve Smith in his 6th year out of Penn State, the starting fullback for Penn State's 1986 National Championship team. Dickerson lost his balance and it cost. Stopped at the line by Tim Crumride.
You know, in our meeting with Dickerson yesterday, you know, he said it's a little bit different role here for him with the Raiders. You know, they got Nick Bell, they got Marcus Allen. He was always the guy with the Colts and with the Rams that was going to carry 30 times a game. He told us that he comes off to the sideline. He doesn't feel like he has to rush back into the game. The other backs will come in and work for him, Bell and Marcus.
Eric Dickerson telling us last night he's still not comfortable, though, with learning a new system with the Raiders, but it's beginning to click. Things such as who is blocking who. And Dickerson with a very short advance. Lamar Rogers made the stop.
You know, I think Dickerson, the Raiders, what they'd like to do is get the ball to Dickerson 15 to 20 times a game. Get the ball to Bell 10 to 15 times a game. Throw the ball to Marcus quite a bit. And that way utilize all of their skills at this stage in their career. You know, Bell's a young back. He can take that pounding. Dickerson can still sustain it a little. Marcus, predominantly a pass receiver right now in the Raider offense.
And Marcus Allen has come on as Eric Dickerson went to the sideline. It's a 3rd down and 7. Raiders operating from their 40-yard line. And Schrader is hauled down. So the Bengals, who had 6 sacks last week, come up with their first of the day. It's a combination of Crumrye and Mitz.
Well, here's one of the things that Ron Lynn does. There's 10 guys on the line of scrimmage, only 1 back here. A lot of blitz possibilities from all these guys. Schrader's trying to call the audible to get rid of that ball. This is one thing the Raiders have to be concerned with against the Ron Lynn defense. That 10 up, that 8 up look, constant pressure by the Bengal defense.
Second punt of the day for Gossett, as earlier went for 50 yards. And the fair catch called by Carl Pickens. This for 48 off the foot of Gossett. Only 3 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And the game is tied at 7. A reminder, Wednesday starts with the season premiere of Unsolved Mysteries right here on NBC. You'll see amazing footage of a UFO encounter, and then don't miss the 1-hour season premiere of the Emmy-winning Seinfeld. Unsolved Mysteries and Seinfeld. That's right here on NBC on Wednesday. Cincinnati from its 19-yard line. Final seconds of the first quarter. Swing pass for Green with a flag thrown, and he is rocked as he crossed the 20-yard line. Time has run out in this first quarter. Ricky Ellison, Ronnie Lott combining on the stop.
Holding. Number 64 of the offense will mark off the yardage. That's the end of the first quarter. Timeout.
That's the left guard, Bruce Krzyzewski's call on the penalty. 1 quarter complete. Raiders and Bengals tied at 7. Back at Riverfront in Cincinnati, Marv Albert with Bill Parcells. As we head to the second quarter, the Raiders and Cincinnati are tied at 7. Boomer Esiason starting out from the 7-yard line as this second quarter gets underway. Green try to make the turn, and he was cut off by the free safety Eddie Anderson along with the outside linebacker Aaron Wallace.
This is a dangerous situation for Cincinnati's offense. Second and long against a real good Raider front pass rush area. Backed up, you don't want to get caught for a sack back here. I think that's why Boomer's first down selection was a little conservative to draw.
Boomer Esiason coming off a subpar season through 16 interceptions. Ranked only 11th among AFC quarterbacks. Intended for Reggie Rembert.
Well, there's another one of those tip balls that I was talking about. This is the reason why I really don't like to throw the ball in this area, or I didn't like to throw the ball. See Boomer trying to lay it over the middle there, and Howie Long jumps up, deflects it, and here's 2 Raider guys with a chance to maybe make the interception.
It is a 3rd and long from the 7. Esiason is 4 of 10, only 28 yards. Cincinnati has done it on the ground, 78 yards rushing. Raiders with only 1 yard on the ground. Eric Ball is stopped, and that gets a reaction from the crowd as the Cincinnati punting unit will come on.
Well, I think that's a good call by David Shula. It's 3rd down and about 15 yards to go. The chances of executing that completion here are very minimal, so he decided to play another day here. They're going to try and punt it out and get better field position.
Lee Johnson, who has punted well, is back in his end zone. Tim Brown, one of the best in the game, is back at the 45-yard line. Last year here in Cincinnati, he returned a Lee Johnson punt 75 yards for a touchdown. Raiders walloping the Bengals 38-14.
Well, the Raiders using a twin safety setup also, I think in an effort to catch any errant kicks. It's a left-footed kicker. He shanks the ball just every once in a while, and Steve Ortmeyer, the special teams coach, told me that he might use the twin safety himself, and there it was.
38-yard punt by Johnson. That game last year here in Cincinnati, Raiders over the Bengals 38-14. Raiders did it with a strong ground attack. At one point, they were in front 28-0. The game was so embarrassing to the Bengals. Sam Weish made the rare move of apologizing to fans for the team's effort. That a low point in the 3-13 season. Here's Dickerson cutting back. Stopped by Kevin Walker. Eric Dickerson, Sunday night in Denver, rushed for only 58 yards, 22 carries, averaged under 3 yards per carry, and the Raiders accounting for only 3 yards thus far in this first half.
Well, he told us last night in the meeting that, he doesn't really spend much time watching football or any other sports. he just plays football, and when he's not playing, he does other things.
Eric claimed that he's not a sports fan, although I did happen to see him at several Indiana Pacer games in Indianapolis. Says he just does not watch sports, just not a fan. That includes football. Steve Smith on the reception short of the first down, stopped by Kevin Walker. Hey, nothing wrong with that, but it's surprising to hear a professional athlete say that.
Well, I got a hard time buying that completely. I think that he may sneak a peek at something every once in a while, especially see how those other running backs are doing statistic-wise. You know, most of those guys usually know what the other guys in the league are doing.
Are we saying he was giving an elitist attitude to us?
He may be.
It's a 3rd down and 2 at the 40-yard line. 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. And it's an end around for Tim Brown. It is right at the marker. Tim Brown kind of sneaking to the right to take that handoff. Ricardo McDonald made the tackle. Let's see where they spot the ball.
This was an attempt on the part of the Raiders to deceive the Bengals into thinking they were in a passing situation. It's 3rd and 2. They put the 3 wide receivers in. You know, at Notre Dame, Tim Brown was used frequently on reverses, so they put the 3 wides in, and then they run him on the reverse.
And the reverse does pick up the first down.
See, the Bengals put their nickel defense in, and of course the Raiders are running the ball for the first down. The 3rd and 2 situation defensively in pro football is one of the most difficult for a defensive coach to cope with. I mean, you really don't know whether they're going to run or pass. And, it's a tough. You see Ron Lynn there, and that was a tough call for Ron. The Raiders just caught him. His defense responded well, but they have the first down. Now they're in the area of the field where you better watch Schrader going for the quick strike once they get across midfield here.
Brown was flanked to the left. Schrader goes the other way for the quick strike that is broken up. James Francis on the coverage of David Jones. David Jones, a backup tight end, was sent deep.
Well, you could almost smell that coming after they got the first down. You know, I had a sense he might try it knowing the Raider history. And, of course, Schrader a little bit disappointed that he didn't get the ball out a little further for Jones to run under it. But that's the area of the field where you really have to watch for the quick strike, first down in that situation.
It'll be a 2nd and 10 at the 38. David Jones, the intended receiver, first-year player from Delaware State, Plan B free agent. Spent last year on injured reserve with the Chargers. Schrader wants to talk it over. Timeout taken. 11-12 remaining, second quarter. The Los Angeles Raiders, Cincinnati Bengals tied at 7. Well, there are tense moments for the Cincinnati Bengals organization throughout the week. Earlier in the week, 20 current former Bengals players were named as defendants in a lawsuit filed by a woman who claimed she was gang raped by members of the team. 10 of the players accused with rape, another 10 accused of watching but not stopping the alleged attack. And throughout the week, players would not comment on the lawsuit. As head coach, how do you react to this type of situation? We'll get to that right after this play as Schrader has a 2nd down and 10 and again goes deep. Touchdown! Sam Grady beating the left corner Rod Jones.
That was just outright speed there. Sam Grady, the fastest man on the Raider team, just simply outran the Bengals cornerback Rod Jones. And again, I mentioned before that quick strike area of the field, and 2 out of the last 3 plays Schrader has gone for it. Beautiful throw by Schrader. No one has a chance to catch that ball but Sam Grady, and that's what speed will do for you, and that's what the Raiders have, a lot of it.
Sam Grady, 5th-year man from Tennessee, a gold medal winner in the 400-meter relay in the 1984 Olympics, and the winner of a silver in the 100-meter dash, 37-yard pass play, 5 plays, 48 yards, 2 minutes, 24 seconds, and the Raiders take a 14-7 lead. 4 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Capacity crowd here at Riverfront, and they just saw Jay Schrader throw his second touchdown pass of the game to give the Raiders a 14-7 lead.
Well, he's got 132 yards, 5 out of 10. He's doing a little to quiet down those people that are calling for Todd Marinovich. He's off to a pretty good start today.
The return by Milton Stegall. Stegall, a rookie free agent out of Miami of Ohio. Elston Ridgel on the stop. And the Bengals will start out from the 20-yard line. Getting back to the rape allegation as a head coach, how do you react to that type of situation?
Marv, it's an unfortunate set of circumstances that surround the Cincinnati team this week. And the Bengals did their best to sequester the players from the media and the press. The Bengals aren't insensitive to these allegations in talking with the people there, but they think that they're going to be answered in court. And quite frankly, the coaches didn't feel like the players were really bothered or distracted too much by what went on this week. And as I said, they're not insensitive to it, but they think it's going to be settled later.
Injured player, Eric Gaynor, being helped off. When we resume, Cincinnati first down from the 20-yard line.
There's that sideline huddle that Cincinnati uses, and that's very difficult for a defense because when the defensive coaches and players look over there, they don't know what set of personnel is coming out on the field. Okay, now in this case, Cincinnati comes out on the field with 2 tight ends, 1 back, and 2 wide receivers. But it could have been 3 wide receivers, and it could have been 2 backs. It could have been all sorts of different combinations, and it makes it difficult for the defense to match up against the offense. So it really is an attempt to conceal what you're doing.
Harold Green, the lone deep back, on the handoff, stopped by Michael Jones. But as we discussed earlier, there are downsides. Otherwise, these no-huddle teams would be unbeatable. Obviously, because you go no-huddle doesn't mean that that's going to be a sure shot for success.
No, sometimes you're risking communication. Now, the Bengals didn't change personnel at all. They left the same people in there as they had in there on the first down.
Again, Green, this time stopped by Willie Broughton. We're set for an update. Let's go to Bob Costas.
Marvin, Kansas City, the Seahawks and Chiefs now tied at 7. Kelly Stoffer for Seattle, 3 yards to Paul Green for the touchdown. Meanwhile, at RFK, Desmond Howard scored on a 58-yard punt return after having the ball lateral to him by Brian Mitchell. That put the Skins up 14-0, but Deion Sanders ran back the subsequent kickoff 100 yards for an Atlanta touchdown. What a game at RFK. It stands 14-7 in favor of the Skins. Marv?
All right, Bob, back here in Cincinnati, 3rd down and 3 from the 32-yard line. Esiason can't find anyone, then dumps it off and has a first down. Carl Pickens. Run out by the free safety, Eddie Anderson. A little ad-lib there by Boomer Esiason. It goes for 18.
Well, it's a classic defensive mistake. Now, the rule on defense is you stay back until the quarterback crosses the line. But you see the right corner, Lionel Washington, coming up, and Boomer sees it and just lays it right over his head. The rule is you stay back until the quarterback crosses the line.
That is the longest completion of the season for Boomer Esiason. It goes 18 yards.
Now the Bengals are back switching personnel again. Now they're back in the 3 tight end situation.
First down from midfield. Harold Green with a short pickup. The strong safety, Ronnie Lott, made the stop. Bob Costas mentioning that 100-yard kickoff return by Deion Sanders. Nice way to get back into it for the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, that's a position where you don't really have to practice too much to be effective. He's been running kickoffs back all his life. Now, Boomer's in the quick strike zone right here. He might look for something like the Raiders pulled a minute ago.
And he goes to the middle on the 2nd and 6. That is short of a first down. Rodney Holman with the catch. Michael Jones made the stop. Could you accept an arrangement of a part-time player? I know Dion said that he's going to try to make most of the practices. Could you handle that?
Well, it's my understanding that he has to make all of the practices. He has to practice from Wednesday through Sunday, or to Sunday, and then of course playing the game. And if there's no conflict, he's then able to go and go with the Braves. And yes, I could accept that particular set of circumstances. I could not accept him practicing 1 day a week and then playing in the game.
It is a first down for Cincinnati. Well, you're saying in special cases you could accept it, such as the talent of a Deion Sanders.
No, I'm not saying special cases. I'm saying that the guy's got to practice all week like everybody else. Yeah, I could accept that.
What if he starts missing practice?
Well, then I have to find. Then I have to find.
It's a first down at the 40-yard line. And Derek Fenner, who has run well, was stopped by Willie Broughton. A reminder tonight, it is a brand new night here on NBC, an all-new Secret Service, followed by an all-new eyewitness video. That's tonight right here on NBC. Second down, 5. Cincinnati at the Raider 35-yard line. Good hold for Derek Fenner, and he has a first down. Last week, against his former team, the Seattle Seahawks, Fenner carried 9 times for 32 yards. He's already surpassed that. 6 carries for 43 this afternoon.
Well, again, Cincinnati's in one of these drives where fatigue looks like it's starting to overtake the Raider defense a little bit. They're starting to pressure them the way they did in that first drive with this power running straight at him. They're using Fenner and Green in the series.
87 Riggs in motion. Esiason off the play fake. Intended for the tight end, Jim Riggs, covered by the outside linebacker, Aaron Wallace.
Another example of the quarterback on first down going for the touchdown strike. That play was an intended deep pass to the wide receiver, but it was covered very, very well by the safety, Eddie Anderson, and Boomer had to let it out to his tight end.
Another long drive. This is the 9th play of the drive. Second down, 10. The 27-yard line. Raiders 14 and the Bengals 7. Halfway through the second quarter. Draw play for Fenner. And again, it's Willie Broughton on the stop. Willie Broughton, wearing number 97 in his 5th year out of Miami, a one-time Colt, one-time Cowboy, sat out all of last season because of an injured back.
Well, these Raiders are really loaded with defensive linemen. At practice yesterday watching them, they just have such a good-looking physical group of guys. You know, Tony Smith and Nolan Harrison, Howie Long, Bob Golick. I mean, it's a real good, and Scott Davis isn't even here. He's up in Illinois holding out.
Third down and 8. Esiason on target with Tim McGee for a Cincinnati first down. Wallace and Lott combined to make the stop. That's a 15-yard pass play.
Well, the Raiders elect to play a zone defense. Andre Bruce, pretty good pressure, but again, there are spots in the zone, and McGee hooks up outside the numbers, and Boomer's right on target, and the ball got there in a hurry. Now they're back in this power offensive set using these tight ends. They'll probably go straight at the Raiders here.
And the Bengals first down just outside the 10-yard line. The handoff to Derek Fenner, and he's stacked up. Assault led by Broughton. Los Angeles Raiders last Sunday night in Denver lost to the Broncos 17-13. Denver scoring the winning touchdown with only 55 seconds left in regulation. John Elway driving his club 85 yards. Raiders had the ball for some 36 minutes 52 seconds to only 23 minutes for Denver. A very frustrating loss for the Raiders, who committed 5 turnovers.
Well, Raiders dominated the game completely, but that team doesn't always win.
And it's Derek Fenner on the touchdown. A 9-yard pass play. So the Bengals are within 1. H will attempt to tie it up. Lee Johnson will put it down. 12 plays, 75 yards. Cincinnati had the ball for 6 minutes and 2 seconds.
Well, Boomer fakes into the line to Fenner and then releases the ball to him on an outlet pass.
Cincinnati and LA are tied at 14. 2 touchdown passes thrown by Schrader, one to Brown, one to Grady. Green with a 20-yard run, and Asias hit to Fenner just a moment ago on a 9-yard touchdown pass. So the Bengals and Raiders tied at 14 with 5:02 remaining in the first half. Marv Albert, Bill Parcells from Riverfront in Cincinnati. A line drive kick handled by Sam Grady. Getting across the 25-yard line.
Well, you see Derek Fenner. Boomer's going to fake it to him right here, and then Fenner's going to hide and wait. After Boomer gets back, he's going to leak out, come down here, and Boomer's going to release it to him. You see Fenner making the fake. Boomer hides it very well. He just kind of freezes right there on the line, then leaks out. Boomer finds him as a secondary receiver. Mike Jones misses the tackle, and Fenner's in for the touchdown.
Raiders from their 28-yard line. Getting the call. Nick Bell at 6'2", 250 pounds, a second-round draft pick out of Iowa last season. A very big running back with exceptional speed and quickness.
I can only think of one guy who even compares with Nick Bell size-wise, and that's Ironhead Hayward playing for the Saints. I really couldn't believe, this is the first time I'd seen Nick Bell in person, I really couldn't believe the physical stature and the size of this guy. 255 or 60 pounds playing halfback. That's a first for me.
It was a 2nd and 5 from the 32. And Schrader able to complete, just did get it off. Ethan Horton battling for the marker, stopped by Kevin Walker.
Ethan Horton is a guy that the Raiders picked up a couple of years ago, former #1 draft choice of the Kansas City Chiefs as a tailback. Now, Al Davis has a unique eye for talent. He's probably the best in the NFL at making projections to different positions. And in this case, Horton, tailback, shifts to tight end, and is having a fine career with the Raiders. They also have Mike Jones, who was a fullback at the University of Missouri, and now he's playing linebacker, number 52.
Hawthorne, #1 draft pick of Kansas City, and drafted as a running back. Schrader able to complete for the first down and some more to Tim Brown. Ricardo McDonald on the stop. That goes for 19, and Jay Schrader has been very sharp in this first half.
Well, one of the things the Raider coaches were talking about yesterday is when Schrader sees separation like he does right there, where Brown is not closely covered by anybody, he is a terrifically accurate passer in those situations and as good as anybody in the league. When the coverage is a little tighter is when he has the tendency to throw those errant balls.
7 for 12, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns for Schrader, and completes again to Steve Smith. So Smith out of the backfield, reaching out to the 41-yard line. Kevin Walker made the stop.
Well, here's that situation where Brown doesn't have any Bengal defender within 5 or 6 yards, gives Schrader that nice open view of him down in here, and as a result, the ball's thrown right on target, and he hits Brown right in the chest. Now, that last play to Steve Smith is the 3rd time that they've run that little fullback angle play on the pass this week. So that must have been a primary game plan thing for the Raiders going into the Bengals game. Steve Smith against James Francis.
It's a 2nd and 1. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the first half, and Smith has a first down. Front made the stop. The 2-minute warning served up. Game tied at 14. We'll be right back. beautiful 72-degree day in Cincinnati. 2 minutes to go, first half. Raiders and the Bengals tied at 14. Coming up at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Bob Costas along with O.J. Simpson. Dan Hampton making an appearance, a little cameo in the studio this week. Gail Gardner will have a close-up look on San Francisco 49ers owner Eddie DeBartolo. It's coming up at halftime. The report on the injured inside linebacker Ray Bentley of the Cincinnati Bengals. Not a good one. Torn left knee ligament. He's been replaced by the rookie from Pitt, Ricardo McDonald.
Well, this is that area here where Schrader may try something. Looked like he just called an audible.
First down play, penalty marker thrown. Nick Bell, the ball carrier. Schrader has been on fire in the second quarter. 5 of 6, 70 yards, and a touchdown. We get the call from Dale Hamer.
Offside. Defense. Left tackle. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, I think Schrader is using this voice inflection here and draws the defensive line of Cincinnati off. Now he's got first and 5. Again, the 35-yard line. This is a place where you really better have your ears up like a German Shepherd if you're playing defense.
What?
Like a German Shepherd, a dog. You got to be alert. You got to watch for everything.
It's part of your motivational talk to your ball club. Ears up like a German Shepherd. Well, James Francis had his ears up. Francis making the stop.
Well, Schrader's got 2 timeouts. There's no sense of urgency yet, but it's just a straight hand off the bell. Steve Smith leading through, but not much movement there. We got a 2nd and 5 situation here. Schrader letting the clock run so he doesn't score too quickly and give the Bengals a chance to come back.
And you see it running down to 1:20 remaining in this first half. Schrader has one of the best deep arms in the NFL, but has not been able to shake off the inconsistency. Daniel Stubbs trying to get to the ball. A timeout has been taken with 1:06 remaining first half.
Well, here's where Jay Schrader just had the problem. Nick Bell, I believe, should be going this way. Schrader coming over to hand the ball off to him with Smith lead blocking, but Bell goes this way instead, and as a result, Schrader has no place to hand the ball. I think he's expecting Bell to come over and give it to him on a handoff, and Schrader just takes it up in the line. Now, this situation here, the first thing Schrader has to do in terms of getting the ball in the scoring zone is get this first down, because they're probably not in a good percentage field goal range right now with the ball on the 35. He wants to save the timeout for the field goal. So if he converts the first down, look for him to take his team to the line of scrimmage right away.
Yes, this would be a 52-yard field goal attempt from this spot here. It's 3rd down and 6 at the 35. And Schrader does air it out. Pass intended for Tim Brown. Covered by the right corner, Eric Thomas. So it will be a long field goal attempt. Jager's career long is 53. This would come from 52.
Well, here's that 10 up look again for Cincinnati, and only 1 back. 10 here, 1 here. Heavy blitz situation. Second time Ron Lynn has called this defense in the game. They drop a couple of guys off to cover, but it's that heavy pressure in the clutch situation that the Raiders have to overcome.
A 52-yard attempt. No good. And with 53 seconds remaining in the half, the ball goes back to Cincinnati.
Well, it's a little bit out of range. He has plenty of distance, but the percentages of kicking these field goals this long are, you know, half and half. Even though you got a real good kicker like Jager, he's not going to make but half of those.
Jager last Sunday in Denver, 2 of 2, hit from 47 and 34. Comes off a very strong season a year ago. Not able to hit from 52. Cincinnati taking over at the 35-yard line. And Esiason able to complete out of the 40. The one-time Cleveland Brown, Brian Brennan. Cincinnati in the hurry-up. Down to 40 seconds remaining in the half.
Of course, he's got plenty of time with 2 timeouts.
And the draw play for Harold Green. Green for a first down. He ripped off 15 yards. Eddie Anderson made the tackle.
And of course, Boomer's using his first time out here. And now all he needs is one more completion or one more 15-yard gain. And the Bengals are in field goal range. So Boomer does a real good job in managing the clock. And of course, they had pretty good field position when the Raiders attempted that long field goal. They only need a couple of first downs, and now they got a shot at it. There's Harold Green again, who's done a good job of running along with Derek Fenner today. And the Bengals offense and David Shula have done a good job interchanging these backs, keeping them fresh and trying to wear those Raiders down a little bit.
Each team with 1 timeout left. Green, 11 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown in this first half. And Jim Breach getting ready. Jim Breach, a member of the Oakland Raiders from 1976 through 1979. He and Howie Long, the only remaining Oakland Raiders in the National Football League.
And of course, Jim's not a long-range kicker, so Boomer's going to try to take the ball well inside the 30-yard line before they attempt that field goal.
First down at the Raider 45. And Esiason completes again. Carl Pickens getting inside the 30. Another first down. Lionel Washington made the stop. That goes for 20. And a timeout has been called with 22 seconds to go in the half.
There you see the wide receiver Carl Pickens, number 80, on the top left of the screen, working against the zone defense underneath Anthony Bell and in front of Lionel Washington. Boomer just guns it right in there.
Penalty marker has been thrown.
Please negate the timeout. Negate the timeout. Illegal formation. Cincinnati, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, this is one of the problems you can have sometimes with the no-huddle offense. And, of course, that was the worst, absolute worst time to have the problem because they just hit a pass that had them in the scoring zone in Breach's field goal range. Now they're going to have to execute something to get them in there again. Possibly the communication problem on that no-huddle there.
Cincinnati does have its timeout remaining. The timeout was nullified. So the ball at the 50. It's a 1st and 15 with 22 seconds left in the half. Esiason going sideline. And that is only a short pickup. Pickens again on the reception. And the clock is stopped with 14 seconds remaining.
Well, the situation's changed here now for Boomer. With 14 seconds remaining, the only thing he's going to be able to do in order to try to get his team in the scoring zone is complete a pass and then run up, get his team on the line, and spike the ball for the timeout, and so that they can get the field goal team on the field and attempt the field goal. That's his only chance right now.
Jim Breach working things over with Lee Johnson, the punter, who is also the holder. Well, coming up in the second half of our NFL doubleheader here on NBC, most of you will see Buffalo and San Francisco. That is coming up next. And Bob, O.J., Dan Hampton, Gail Gardner will be along at halftime. 2nd and 7 from the 42. And Esiason tried to connect with Pickens. Down down to 10 seconds to go.
Another good call by David Shula. In the event that pass had been completed, Pickens would have been able to get out of bounds as he made the reception. So that was the whole design of that play, to try to get the receiver a good 10 or 15-yard completion, and then get him out of bounds with the ball.
Third down play with 10 seconds remaining. Esiason side-arming for McGee. Dan Lamb on the coverage with 4 seconds to go.
Well, I don't think Cincinnati's going to punt the ball here. I think what they'll do is run that Hail Mary pass or jump ball pass, 4 seconds to go. Well, they're going to attempt a field goal here. That shows you what I know.
But well out of the normal range of Jim Breach. Or we could possibly see a fake.
Well, in actuality, I think this is the long-range field goal kicker,
yes.
Lee Johnson.
A change. Johnson will attempt from 59 yards away, and it is blocked. So a wild conclusion. Penalty markers thrown. A wild finish to end this first half.
That's one of the dangers in a field goal in that situation. The Raiders possibly could have picked that up and scored with it.
Have an illegal bat, number 56. An illegal bat on the Raiders. The penalty is accepted. The half is over.
That's that rule that was put into place for that holy roller play with Dave Casper. You cannot bat the ball forward and then advance it for a touchdown.
Let's take another look at the long attempt by Lee Johnson, blocked by the Raiders.
Well, he just didn't get the ball up high enough. It wasn't any fault of the Cincinnati protection. He's just trying to drive the ball low for the distance.
So halftime at Riverfront in Cincinnati. The Bengals and Raiders are tied at 14. Now let's join Bob Costas for the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report, brought to you by Domino's. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home.
Okay, Bob Costas back in the studio with Dan Hampton, who's our guest analyst this week, and of course, O.J. Simpson. Let's get some thoughts on this first half in Cincinnati.
Well, I tell you what, I think the coaching job by the Cincinnati staff has been excellent so far. They've changed the attitude from a read and react type of team to rushing the ball and attacking on defense.
And they're doing a good job attacking, especially at the line of scrimmage. Eric Dickerson has 4 yards and 5 carries. Schrader's having an excellent first half. The big number on Schrader is there's no interception. He has a penchant for doing something to hurt the team late in the game, and they're going to have to get that running game going so they don't have to rely on him so much in the second half.
See, and you just said it, late in the game. So the jury is out. We're not taking anything away from the 2 touchdown passes in the first half, but late in the game, his history is some mistakes at very inopportune times.
You need some help. They got to start running that football.
Okay, you want to talk about a ball game? How about this one at RFK? The Redskins leading the Falcons 21-14. It opened with Rippon hitting Biner for a 5-yard touchdown. That was the tame part. Then Washington goes up 14-0 when on a punt, Brian Mitchell, just before being hit, laterals the ball almost all the way across the field to Desmond Howard, and the rookie Heisman Trophy winner takes it 58 yards for a touchdown. That makes it 14-0. On the next kick, Deion Sanders, playing his first game for the Falcons after working out that dual baseball-football deal, takes the ball at the goal line and goes all the way for the touchdown. That makes it 14-7. Rippon then throws a 16-yard touchdown pass to Gary Clark. It's 21-7 before Chris Miller hits Michael Haynes for a catch and run that covers 89 yards. And the halftime score, the Redskins 21 and the Falcons 14. Dallas pounding the Giants at the Meadowlands 27-0. The Giants are not just a mediocre team, they're a bad team right now.
Bob, I think they're really sliding a lot faster than a lot of people think. Here's a team that 2 years ago won a Super Bowl, and when Parcells left, I think he took the personality of this team, and they haven't been able to develop that swagger that they had back in the late 80s. And not only that, but some of their key players, guys like Lawrence Taylor, Phil Simms, O.J. Anderson, these guys that made the big plays in years past, they're getting old, and they're just not getting it done now.
And they are being embarrassed at home 27-0 by the Cowboys. Now, your old club, the Bears, leading at New Orleans on a pair of Kevin Butler field goals. This one is at the half, 6-0. Seattle and Kansas City. Quick look at some highlights from Arrowhead Stadium with KC leading at the half, 13-7. Dave Craig, after 12 seasons as the Seahawks quarterback, starts against Seattle today for his new club, Kansas City. This is his first Chiefs touchdown pass. He throws it to J.J. Burden, and the catch and run covers 72 yards for the touchdown, which gives them the lead at 7-0. Early in the second quarter, Kelly Stoffer, who replaces Craig as the #1 quarterback in Seattle, hits Paul Green, the second-year tight end out of USC, with this 3-yard touchdown pass, culmination of a 13-play drive. Ties the score at 7. And here's a milestone for Christian Okoye on this run of 17 yards. He has 4,466 for his career and thus passes Ed Podolak for #1 on the all-time Chiefs career rushing list. Minnesota playing at Detroit. Special teams doing it for the Lions. Mel Gray, 58-yard punt return. Melvin Jenkins, a 56-yard return of a blocked field goal, both for touchdowns. 17-3 Lions at the half. Tampa Bay and Green Bay, better than 100 degrees on the field. Vinny Testaverde almost as hot. 14 of 16 for 197 yards and a touchdown in the first half. Sam Weish might be on his way to a record of 2-0 as the Bucs' new head coach. They lead 17-0 at the half. Gail Gardner is back after this message as she talks with Ed DeBartolo, the owner of the San Francisco 49ers. It follows this word from the National Football League and a message from your local stations.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home.
Okay, Gail Gardner joins us, as she will each halftime during this 1992 season. Coming up, many of you will see the 49ers at home against the Bills as the second part of the doubleheader. And one constant for the 49ers through this long, modern era of success in the 4 Super Bowls is their owner, Eddie DeBartolo. The success on the field is beyond dispute, but he's also had some tough times, especially of late, off the field.
Yes, tough times of late. This is the man, of course, they're very familiar with. They call him Eddie D or Mr. D, and every player wants to play for him. Eddie DeBartolo Jr., the most generous owner in the league. Astronomical salaries, wide-bodied planes, separate hotel rooms for his players. His largesse is legendary. But these are different economic times, even for a man with a big heart and deep pockets. What Eddie DeBartolo Jr. started was a golden era of football in the city by the bay. 8 division titles, 4 Super Bowl championships, and a family atmosphere under an owner who handled his team like gold. If you treat people like they are special, they will do special things for you, sometimes miraculous things. That was his philosophy when he bought the team at age 30.
It's just a business as usual.
I went into San Francisco and my first press conference was a total disaster because I did get up and I said that football is a business and that we're going to run this team as a business, and I practically got run out of town on a rail. It's really funny that 16 years later I should have listened a little bit better to myself, and football really is a business.
Eddie did know what he was talking about and learned his business sense at the knee of his father, Edward Sr., the man who literally invented the shopping mall. But as the team of the 80s rolled into the 90s, the tough economic times would affect them both. Very bluntly, the DeBartolo Corporation, the San Francisco 49ers, are you in financial trouble?
We have not made any money with the San Francisco 49ers. We have lost money, and we have lost substantial money. As far as our corporation is concerned, we were able to go and meet straight up with our bankers and just do a debt restructure. And we are a very, very viable, strong company.
Is there any truth at all to the rumors that you were thinking about selling off part of the team?
No, never.
Never?
Never.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know.
And the Wall Street Journal said that they had found these secret documents that said that you were planning this.
No, that's not true. I read the story too. There was no plans to do any sale of the 49ers, none whatsoever.
As for changing his spending habits, that will come almost solely in the salary area. Negotiations will definitely be tougher.
The things that affect the bottom line in football are player salaries. Now, the little extra things that I've done for the players, I've done because I've wanted to. I just feel I owe it to myself and owe it to them to do whatever I can to make what they do a little bit more comfortable.
Obviously, his heart is in the right place, but also prudence indicates that player salaries sometimes have to be cut back. But when push came to shove, he coughed it up for Jerry Rice recently.
He did cough it up for Jerry Rice, and he will cough it up for frontline players like Rice, like Montana. It's the backup players who have now become used to earning big salaries who will be feeling some of the cutbacks, as well as the younger players who come in. It will be much more in line with the rest of the league.
Okay, thanks, Gail. Our NFL Live halftime activities will continue as we roll on after this.
Welcome back to Riverfront in Cincinnati. The Bengals and the Raiders tied at 14. Marv Albert with Bill Parcells. And Bill, this first half was certainly a study of contrasting styles.
Well, the Raiders, 2 big plays, you know, one to Tim Brown, one to Sam Grady, the bomb, and then the Bengals, 121 yards rushing. If someone told me that the Bengals could have rushed for 21 yards, I wouldn't have believed it. Well, Sam Grady, of course, has that touchdown pass, and here's Harold Green, you know, running off to his left side for the touchdown. And it's the Bengals running against the Raiders passing.
And Green went for 72 yards on 11 carries. As we check out the Coors Light halftime statistics, Raiders with 156 yards in the air, 170 total yards. And time of possession, Raiders just under 18 minutes. And Cincinnati, 12 minutes and 6 seconds. Raiders had the ball most of the ball game against Denver last Sunday night, but lost it because of costly turnovers.
Well, the thing about the Raiders, though, that they got to get solved, if Cincinnati can run the ball off tackle and then Boomer can just nickel and dime them with that passing game, which is what happened the first half, then Cincinnati's got a real chance to control this game. Of course, the only thing they have to do defensively is to prevent the big play, and had they been able to do that, the Raiders wouldn't be on the board. But that's the Raider thing, you know, hit that bomb every chance you get.
The kickoff by Lee Johnson carries to the end zone. Sam Grady lost his footing. Off the touchback, they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. LA Raiders coming off a loss in Denver on Sunday by the score of 17-13. Last season, the Raiders went 9-7, made the playoffs as a wild card, and then lost to Kansas City. Jay Schrader, a man who appeared to have his game under control back in 1990, had his problems last year, at times forcing the ball into coverage. And out in Los Angeles, embroiled in a quarterback controversy. The call has come out for Tom Marinovich. However, Schrader has had an excellent first half. Here's Dickerson, who has struggled. Stopped by Tim Crumry. Eric Dickerson in the first half, 5 rushes, 4 yards. That's been it.
Well, Dickerson is a guy that kind of has to get in sync and in the flow of the game. And, you know, the Raiders just haven't been able, run-wise, to allow him to do that to this point. They've been mixing in the passing quite frequently, and, you know, they think they can exploit the Cincinnati secondary a little bit, and rightfully so, based on the first half.
Dickerson picked up 3, second down, 7 from the 23. Brown trying to get the Cincinnati defense into it. Schrader with the time. Oh, nice catch. Willie Gault with a leaping catch in front of Eric Thomas. A 14-yard pickup.
Well, one of the things that Jay Schrader can do is throw that real deep out pass to the left. There he's thrown it complete to Gault. And I promise you, Marv, there are not many quarterbacks in this league that can throw that ball that far, that hard to their left.
First catch of the day by Gault. And a first down at the 37. Dickerson. Dickerson had a rocky time in Indianapolis last year, missed 2 games because of a toe injury, 4 more because of disagreements with management. He was sent to the Raiders for a couple of draft picks. Raiders now in their no huddle in a 2nd down and 4 at the 43.
It's a little bit of a surprise. We didn't expect the Raiders to have this no huddle, but here you see Schrader calling the play. Dickerson has been predominantly an I tailback his whole career, and
there could be some confusion off the snap, and you saw the flags come flying. The center is Don Mosbar. The guards are Max Montoya, Steve Wisniewski. The tackles,
False start.
Wilkerson and Wright.
Several members of the offensive line. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
A generic penalty. Several members of the offensive line.
well, you know, again, this is the problem with some of the mechanics of the no huddle and the management of the no huddle offense. Communication may not be as good as when you're back in the huddle. They're still in it again, so we'll see if we can make it go this time.
2nd down and 9 at the 38. Schrader had a run, couldn't find anyone, and has a 1st down. Run out by Darrell Williams. A 20-yard sprint for the quarterback, Jay Schrader.
Well, sometimes when you have good coverage, even if you have the coverage good, some bad things can happen. Again, to Schrader's credit, he doesn't force it in there. He pulls it down, and of course, that's a nice scramble.
It is a 1st down at the 43 in Cincinnati territory. The game tied at 14. 3 minutes gone by in the 3rd. And Schrader had a wide open Ethan Horton. Bussey and Williams with the tackle, but it's a 30-yard pass play.
Again, that same thing when Schrader's able to see separation, no one around Horton. He's a terrifically accurate passer. The Raider coaches really emphasized that point to us yesterday when we were talking. If he's got those receivers open, he's going to hit them.
Once again, seems to be confusion with the Raiders coming to the line and getting set. 2nd catch of the day for Horton. Steve Smith stopped back behind the line by Kevin Walker.
Again, getting back to Dickerson, the Raiders' style of running game is a little different than what Eric Dickerson is used to. He's used to being an I tailback, a cutback runner. The Raiders are using him today in what we used to call a flat back position, or split backs, and he has to run across the formation. That's a little different style of running, and it's a style that Dickerson is not completely used to, and he's going to have to adjust to it a little bit.
Tim Brown now flanked out wide to the right side. And Dickerson is on the wing to the left. Schrader completes. Beautiful spinning move. The ball was jarred free. There was also a penalty marker down. The Bengals say they've recovered. Questions to answer off that.
Well, if this penalty's against the Raiders.
Number 76 for the offense.
So Cincinnati has recovered.
Tim Brown on a delay pattern and is stripped cleanly by Rod Jones, number 25. And of course, there's a big scramble for the ball. And the Bengals come up with it. Ball will be 1st and 10 for Cincinnati on the 20.
First turnover of the day. Rod Jones did the stripping of Tim Brown, and he ended up recovering the ball in the end zone. Rod Jones, the man who was beaten on both Raider touchdowns.
Well, he made up for it there. A little double duty. Stripped it and recovered it.
Rod Jones, the left cornerback, in his 7th year out of Southern Methodist. Raiders with 5 turnovers last week. Harold Green on the slant to the left. And a penalty marker is thrown. Ricky Ellison made the stop. And there is Ray Bentley, the linebacker who we're told suffered torn
ligaments. Well, if it's ligaments, it's going to cost him probably the whole season. If it's cartilage, he may be back in a little while.
Holding offense, number 65, penalized for the 10, still first down.
That's the center, Mike Arthur, called for the hold. Ray Bentley last week returning a fumble, 75 yards for a touchdown. Talked with Ray yesterday. Told us he wanted to spike the ball, but he couldn't raise his arms because he was so tired. And once again, it is Harold Green, stopped by the right defensive tackle, Nolan Harrison.
This is the area of the field against Cincinnati has been reasonably conservative. Boomer trying not to make a mistake. Second and extra long here. I think Boomer will be a little bit conservative here also.
It is a second down. And about 17 from the 13-yard line. 9:45 remaining. Third quarter. Esiason getting it out to McGee. Reaches to the marker. Lionel Washington up from right corner to make the stop. That goes for a first down. A 17-yard reception.
Well, Tim McGee working against Lionel Washington. Actually, it's a zone. It's a delay pattern. Both Ronnie Lott and Lionel Washington take the deep man, and that lets McGee set up outside short, and Boomer finds him.
First down at the 30-yard line. Ronnie Lott has emerged as the leader of the Raiders defense. Led the NFL with 8 interceptions last season. Esiason. Penalty marker is down. Aaron Wallace will be called for interference. Harold Green, the intended receiver.
Pass interference. Number 51 of the defense. First down.
Well, this is the second time Boomer is really trying to go for the bomb, and he has to let out to a secondary receiver. The Raiders anticipated it too quickly, and Wallace is all over the receiver's back. Flagrant pass interference there.
First down at the 40. Off the delay, Esiason brought down from behind across the 45-yard line. Andre Bruce making the stop. When you consider the shuffling in the Cincinnati offensive line, well, with the injury suffered by the right guard, John Melander, Joe Walter playing hurt with a broken blood vessel in his foot, Kirk Scrafford drawing the start at right guard. This unit has done a nice job. Mike Arthur at center, Kozerski and Scrafford, Walter, and Munoz. Munoz injured his shoulder earlier, but was able to hang in. Second down and 4 at the 46-yard line. Eric Fenner has been a major factor here today. That time was stopped.
Well, this brings up the first short yardage situation for the Bengals today. And, you know, in our research, we've noticed that the teams that were going against the Raiders have a tendency to run to the offensive right and to the Raiders' defensive left side.
It's usually Howie Long's side. Eric Fenner running to the Raiders' left side. And has a first down. Anthony Bell made the stop.
All of the plays that I've seen that involve short yardage on the Raiders came to the offensive right. And in talking with Cincinnati's tight end coach, Mike Pope, he indicated that they were going to try and attack in that area also. So there's the first situation, and they converted.
You're saying there is a weakness on Howie Long's side?
Well, they seem to be attacking that area.
All right, here's Esiason off the play fake. Archie Lambert with the diving grab. And that goes for 27.
In watching practice yesterday, in this area of the field, Cincinnati had practiced 4 or 5 of these heavy play actions, faking into the line, and there's an example of Boomer converting on one.
Here's Fenner. Cincinnati getting to the line in a hurry, going with the no huddle. Lionel Washington making the stop. Cincinnati and Los Angeles tied at 14, 7 minutes remaining. Third quarter, Marv Albert, Bill Parcells at Riverfront. Capacity crowd better than 60,000 on hand for the Bengals home opener. Cincinnati 2nd and 4. Out of the 15, here's Fenner, and he is stopped getting inside the 15-yard line. Derek Fenner, a 10th round draft choice of Seattle back in 1988. 2 years ago with the Seahawks, he scored 15 touchdowns, ran for just under 900 yards. He came to Cincinnati through Plan B. Combination of Fenner and Green, very effective here this afternoon. 3rd down and 3. 9th play of the drive. And Fenner tried to turn the corner, able to make his way to the marker. Lionel Washington with the stop. Let's see where they spot it.
This is going to bring up an interesting decision here if it's not a first down for the Bengals. You know, do you go for 4th down or do you take the lead at home with the field goal? They're calling for the change here. The thing I sense about the Bengals offense and the Raiders defense is exhibiting a little fatigue. They're not used to practicing at this pace of the no-huddle offense. Cincinnati's players are used to doing it.
Just short of the first down.
He's going for it. That's their short yardage offense. Now, if they stay with the tendencies, they should be coming over here to the right side. Although in Boomer's case, you always have to watch the play action pass also in this situation.
The indication to bring on the 3 tight ends, Rodney Holman, Jim Riggs, Craig Thompson. So the Bengals going for the first down.
Of course, the other possibility is that Boomer might try and draw him offside. I think he's going for it, though.
Yes, he does. With Fenner, and Cincinnati has a first down.
Again, attacking the right side of that offense on Cincinnati, the Raiders' left side on defense, and it's been the predominant area of attack on short yards. And as I said, Mike Pope said they were going to go at it themselves, and it's the 2nd play in a row they've done it.
So Derek Fenner with 4 consecutive rushes. He's been involved in 6 of the last 7 plays. And it's a 1st and goal at the 9. We're approaching 5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Riggs in motion. Back to Green. Battles his way. Stopped by Ricky Ellison. The Bengals, with 30 rushes on the day, averaging better than 5 yards per carry, and that is very impressive.
The amazing thing about it is they've only run 2 plays. The draw play and the straight off tackle play either side. Only 2 plays in the Bengals running offense today that I've seen.
It's a 2nd and goal. Green breaking the tackle, fighting his way near the goal line. Anthony Bell made the stop.
This is just straight ahead power football. And again, the 3 tight end formation. Green dodges the penetration by Wallace, runs through Ricky Ellison. Finally, Anthony Bell wraps him up. It takes about 7 of them to get him down. That is unbelievable running by Green right there.
It's a 3rd and goal. The ball is at the 2.
Nolan Harrison for the Raiders is the player down.
Timeout is being called as they check out Harrison. We'll be right back.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Hertz #1 Club Gold. Nobody offers you faster service in more locations from coast to coast. By the Canon CJ10 full-color copier, printer, scanner. Now the power of color is yours. By the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. And by Oldsmobile. The power of intelligent engineering.
Well, this is a drive that began with the fumble recovery in the end zone by Rod Jones. Anthony Smith, second-year player from Arizona, replacing the injured Nolan Harrison. It's a third, and they're now calling it third and about a half yard from the 2. And let's see, what is the call? Cincinnati saying touchdown for Derek Hunter. No indication from the official. Still no indication as to where the ball will be spotted. Now, it may well be that the Bengals, depending on the spot, can pick up a first down and not score.
That's what it looks like. It may be, but I think the officials have signaled fourth down right now.
Called a fourth and goal. Hunter was just short. Now the Bengals are in for the score. Eric Ball bringing it home. Cincinnati has taken a 20-14 lead. Eric Ball, in his fourth year out of UCLA last week, carried the ball once against Seattle, went 1 yard for a touchdown, and he's done the same here today. Jim Breach with the extra point attempt. Well, it was an adventure, but the Bengals take a 21-14 lead.
Well, Eric Ball against the tendency. Ball's usually the lead blocker, but this time they give it to him across the formation, and he goes in. Pretty easy touchdown for the Bengals.
For the Cincinnati Bengals, it is their home opener here at Riverfront. They've taken a 21-14 lead on the Los Angeles Raiders. Dan Land on the kickoff return. Good coverage by Cincinnati as Land gets across the 20-yard line. We have 3:32 remaining in the third quarter. Jay Schrader, who has had a solid performance back on the field with the offensive unit. Schrader 11 for 17, 214 yards. We'll be back right after this. Bill, you made mention you think that the Raider defensive unit, looking tired, may be affected by that no huddle. This is an older group on defense for the Raiders.
Well, I think the pace of the game, you know, when you're not used to practicing defense at a no huddle pace, fatigue sets in. And Steve Ortmeyer, the special teams coach, was telling me they had 19 guys on their team 30 years old or older, so it's not a young team.
Raiders from their 23, trailing by a touchdown. And Schrader's pass was completed. Eric Dickerson made the catch, covered by Ricardo McDonald. Now they may be waving it off. Let's see. Is it a completed pass? Apparently not. It'll be a 2nd and 10 at the 23. Dickerson not able to maintain possession. 83 Willie Gold splits to the left side. And Schrader able to complete. Andrew Glover, backup tight end, stopped by the combination of Fernandez Vincent and Kevin Walker. Andrew Glover, second-year man out of Grambling.
Raiders back in there, no huddle offense now. There's no huddles all over the place today.
Raiders has a first down at the 33. 25. Daniel Stubbs with the sack.
Well, Daniel Stubbs, of course, the ex-49er and ex-Cowboys, found a home here in Ron Lynn's defense. Comes all the way around, number 68, Bruce Wilkerson. The coverage is good. I think you could credit the coverage with that sack more than the run.
For Stubbs, his second sack of the season. Cincinnati with its second sack of the day. Schrader completes to Galt. And Galt is at the marker. Darrell Williams, rookie from Miami, who's seen extensive action here today, made the stop. Darrell Williams, first-round draft pick. Cincinnati's second of 2 first-round picks. It is marked as a first down for the Raiders. First down from their 44-yard line. Once again, Raiders in the no huddle. Minute 45 to go. Third quarter. Bengals lead 21-14. It's the second back coming through. Eric Dickerson reaching to midfield. James Francis made the stop. Back to the subject of Jay Schrader, who, as we've discussed, has played well today. Quarterback controversy is not a new phenomenon to the Raiders, who can certainly reflect on Ken Stabler and Darryl LaMonica. In more recent years, Jim Plunkett and Mark Wilson brought in.
Well, Los Angeles has always been a place that seemed to kind of have those quarterback controversies.
Second and 4. Incomplete pass intended for Eric Dickerson. Now, when we were chatting with Jay Schrader last night, he enjoyed seeing this particular statistic, which has him in front of people such as Dan Marino and Bernie Kosar. Of course, Schrader with Washington and with the LA Raiders, looking at the other point of view, has been with some very good teams, and that is a contributor.
I think some of the opinion about Schrader is formed by the championship games that he's been in. Once against the Giants, 17-0. The other one against the Bills, 51-3. And I think a lot of people judge him on those 2 games.
Third down and 4, and Schrader able to complete. It's a first down for the Raiders. Marcus Allen with the diving catch.
Marcus Allen working against the rookie linebacker Ricardo McDonald, one-on-one situation. That's too much experience against a rookie. Allen is going to get the separation there, and Schrader makes a nice throw, low and outside, and an excellent reception by Allen.
So Schrader now 14 for 22, 248 yards. Pass intended for Willie Galt, and a flag has been thrown. It's against the Raiders. As we see, 9 seconds remaining in this third quarter.
Holding, offense, number 68, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the left tackle, Bruce Wilkerson.
Well, he had just been beaten by Stubbs on that pass rush a couple of plays ago, and now you see Stubbs coming underneath him. He beat him around the first time. Now Wilkerson's probably overly conscious of the outside move, and now Stubbs took him to the inside and drew a holding penalty.
First and 20 from the 45. Raiders go with the double tight ends, Horton and Jones. Dickerson out to midfield. McDonald made the stop, and that wraps up the third quarter. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. We move on to the fourth quarter in Cincinnati. The Bengals lead 21-14. And there is the new defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals. Ron Lynn spent the last 6 years with San Diego. Before that, he was the defensive coordinator for the Oakland Invaders of the USFL.
Well, the big thing that Ron Lynn brings to Cincinnati today is he's used to playing against these Raiders twice a year in the AFC West, so they know him, but he knows them too.
And he has brought that aggressive attacking style of defense to Cincinnati. Schrader able to complete for a first down with the tight end Ethan Horton, a 19-yard pickup. Darrell Williams made the stop.
That's another example of Schrader finding the guy wide open against the Cincinnati zone. Horton working in behind the linebackers. Big separation. Ball hits him right in the chest. Schrader on the no huddle again.
Third catch of the day for Horton. First down at the Cincinnati 31 as we get underway in the fourth quarter. Schrader again going up top, but incomplete. Intended for Horton, covered by Williams. Ethan Horton in his 6th NFL season out of North Carolina. Made the Pro Bowl last year for the first time, had 53 catches. As you mentioned earlier, a converted running back, a #1 draft choice of the Kansas City Chiefs back in 1985. In fact, Bill, he was the first running back taken in the '85 draft.
Well, the Raiders, you know, have always have had an eye for those #1 draft choices, and they like them even if they're theirs or someone else's. They always want to look at those guys that were #1.
Schrader able to complete over the middle to Tim Brown. That's short of the first down at the 25-yard line. Yes, the Los Angeles Raiders do love #1 draft picks. Look at this crew. Scott Davis, as you mentioned earlier, is holding out, but that's a very impressive list. It's a 3rd and 3 at the 24. And Schrader with the completion to Grady. Grady was wide open. Eric Thomas made the stop. It's another Raider first down. And Grady shaken up.
Well, there's Sam Grady, and he's going to just start down, come all the way across, and just run away from the corner, Eric Thomas. Nice, what we used to call a smash pattern. Catches Thomas in the traffic and just outruns him. Now, Grady's got too much speed for Thomas to be off that far.
Looked like Grady had the wind knocked out of him. Timeout is called. We'll be back in a moment. Raiders first down at the 15-yard line. They trail the Bengals by the score 21-14. Minute and a half gone by in the fourth quarter. Just Allen peeling off. Schrader with the long look, and it's really picked off by the rookie defender Darrell Williams. Pass intended for Tim Brown.
Well, this is a pass that was specifically designed in the red zone for Tim Brown. They put Marcus Allen in motion outside of Tim Brown and try to put Brown through the post. And I'll tell you, that was a lucky defensive play by Darrell Williams, because Brown was there for the touchdown and Schrader could just get it over Williams' head.
Yes, a wide open Tim Brown. Defensive coordinator Ron Lynn looking on. 15th play of the drive. 2nd and 10 at the 15. The screen developing, but it was rejected by Daniel Stubbs. Stubbs goes 6'4", got his hand on it.
Well, Schrader's trying to get the ball to Steve Smith underneath Daniel Stubbs. There's no one on Smith, but Stubbs jumps up and knocks this one down. So that's 2 plays in a row that the Raiders have had potential touchdowns, and Cincinnati has made the defensive play by jumping up in the air and tipping the ball.
So coming up, the 16th play of this long drive. It'll be a 3rd and 10 at the 15-yard line.
There is no foul on the play. There is no foul on the play. 2nd down.
Inadvertent flag leading to that explanation. It is 3rd down and 10 at the 15. To the left, and Fernandez to the right. Schrader completes, but short of the first down. The hit by Eric Thomas, and the ball recovered by Cincinnati. Barney Bussey the recovery. However, it was blown dead back at the 10. All right, here's another look at it.
Cincinnati attempted minimal pressure, just a 5-man rush. Schrader's able to get the ball to Galt. Eric Thomas strips it. Bussey picks it up, but the official called Willie Galt down. And, you know, looking at that replay there, it looks like Galt's progress was stopped for a sufficient amount of time, and I think it was a good call by the official.
And in this case, had there been instant replay, that would have been the call, that his forward progress had been stopped. Field goal attempt, 27-yarder coming up. Jaeger missed earlier from 52, and once again, this fake that does not work. James Francis made the play.
James Francis coming inside the Raider wingback. Now the wingback's assignment is to block down and then ricochet out. He didn't get the job done there. There is James Francis right there. His job is to penetrate. The wingback has to block down and then ricochet out. Francis just gets too much penetration in the wingback's effort to go outside. He left Francis too soon.
So Cincinnati takes over at the 15-yard line. Trying to turn the corner.
David Shula's pretty excited about that one, jumping up and down. Of course, those are the kind of plays that win games. And normally when you block a kick during the course of the game, your team's going to win.
It's a 2nd down and 8 at the 17. Riggs in motion. There's Green off the screen. Out to the 20. An advance of 3. Golick and Ellison combined to make the tackle. We come up on 12 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Cincinnati 21 and the Los Angeles Raiders 14.
Well, you get a feeling now that the Raiders defense has realized that there's a terrific sense of urgency here now, and that they can't let Boomer drive this ball down the field and put another 7 or 3 up, or they're not going to be able to win this game. So you get the sense that the Raiders defense is trying to turn it up a notch right here.
3rd down and 3. Completion to the tight end. Rodney Holman, Lionel Washington, Ronnie Lott combined to make the stop.
Well, Boomer back throwing to his left. 3 tight ends. Holman starts inside, releases back out, and Boomer is so good at getting the ball there quickly in time for the receiver to turn up and pick up the first down.
3rd reception of the day for Holman. Comes off a low production season, only 31 catches, 2 touchdowns. Here's Green. First down play and a short pickup for Green. Anthony Bell made the stop. Well, coming up on most of these NBC stations, it's game 2 of our doubleheader. And most of you will see Thurman Thomas and the AFC champion Buffalo Bills go up against the San Francisco 49ers in Candlestick. That's coming up next.
Well, there's another no-huddle offense.
Yes.
You know, it seems like these no-huddles are catching on around the league like bell-bottom pants.
Oh, is that it? Yes, right. 2nd down and 7. Eric Fenner. And he is stopped. Combination of Green and Fenner doing the job this afternoon. Fenner 16 carries, 65 yards.
You know, although there's only 10 minutes to go, if Cincinnati can sustain a drive here down the field, they're going to go a long way toward beating the Raiders. Now, the Raiders are trying to change personnel. Cincinnati changed personnel, so the Raiders are allowed to change personnel.
As Nolan Harrison just came on for Bob Golick. 3rd down and 5 at the 33, and a timeout is taken by the Raiders with 9:50 to go in the 4th quarter. We'll be back in Cincinnati in a moment.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by the new Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right. By Champion Authentic Athletic Wear. It takes a little more to make a champion. By Castrol Syntec, the new synthetic oil that protects in ways other oils can't. And by Tartar Control Crest, the dentist's choice to help keep your teeth tartar-free.
When we resume, Cincinnati 3rd down and 5 at the 33, and the Raider defense looking for a stop right here.
And you might not think that this is a critical down for the Raiders, but Boomer's trying to get 3 up on the board here, and that 10-point lead might be a little too much if he can do it.
One intended for Reggie Rembert, covered by Torin Dorn, and the Bengals are forced to punt.
It's a big play by the Raider defense there. I did have the feeling they did sense the urgency in that series, and they responded pretty well. Now it's up to the offense to try and drive it down again. Of course, Tim Brown here is a dangerous guy.
And there is Brown back at his 25, awaiting the 4th punt of the day from Lee Johnson. And it's a good one by Johnson. Brown working his way to the 25. Kevin Walker made the stop. 56-yard punt, 14-yard return. Bill, I know you had the opportunity to spend some time yesterday with one of your favorite players, Ronnie Lott. I can recall one particular hit. We've looked at this film a couple of times. Mark Bavaro took a shot from Ronnie Lott.
Well, this Ronnie Lott, you know, he disrupted my game plan plenty of times, and he was a very, very big hitter, and I think if I was making a list of my all-opponent team, along with Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott would be right on top of that list.
And it's a short list from what I'm told. First down at the 25, Eric Dickerson getting out to the 30-yard line, stopped by Tim Krumrie. I know you don't throw the word great around too frequently, but this guy makes your list of 10 great players.
Well, I don't know whether I could get to number 10 if I said the 10 active players that I think are great. I think I could probably get to 6 or 7, but one of the first 2 or 3 names I would put on that list is Ronnie Lott, because he's truly one of the greatest safeties to ever play this game, in my estimation.
2nd down and 5. The pass thrown behind Steve Smith, and let's see how they rule it. Picked up by James Francis. The Raiders are looking for a call of an incomplete pass. The Bengals want a completion and then a fumble, which they recover. So let's see what the call is here. Well, it is called completed pass and a fumble. So it's Gene Francis once again with a big defensive play. No, they say it was deflected and then picked off by Francis.
This is a great play by James Francis. It's another one of those balls, though, that's thrown over the middle of the field, deflected. It gives the defense the opportunity to catch the ball in that area. Now, you got to watch out for Boomer here. I don't think he'll go for the big play. I think he'll try to put the icing on the cake. Conservative offense here for Cincinnati.
And Harold Green gets the call on first down. Cincinnati taking over at the 38. Ellison and Wallace made the stop.
Well, there's Schrader back. Smith off his hands. Little behind him. And the deflection. And Francis comes up with it. Here you go. Little behind Smith. He has to reach back. He should have caught the ball. But again, the point I made earlier in the game, when you throw the ball in that part of the field, from time to time, you're going to have these kind of problems.
Hard hands by James Francis to be able to hold on and come up with the interception. Second down and 5. Harold Green stopped by Bob Golick.
Well, here's Smith. He's going to work outside first and then come back underneath. The ball is thrown a little bit behind him, and he tips it right up in the air. You'll see him take an outside release, working against the zone, cuts underneath, ball tipped behind him. Just don't throw the ball in that area of the field, and you will not have those kind of problems.
From the Parcells playbook, third down and 4 at the 32. 7:15 remaining fourth quarter. Short set by Esiason, and it's batted down.
Now, that play right there by the Raiders may not look like much, but that may keep Jim Breach out of field goal range and keep the Bengals from going up 10 points, which would be a big deficit to overcome with only 7 minutes to go.
It is a fourth down and 4. Lee Johnson has checked in. This will either be a long-range field goal attempt from 49 or a short punt.
Well, this may be one of those things where Cincinnati takes the penalty and tries to down the ball deep in their own territory. I think they're going to take the penalty. There it is. And they're going to move it back 5 and then punt it. But, you know, the normal team would have attempted a field goal from here, but Breach just doesn't have that kind of range. They don't want to give the Raiders good field position. They're going to try to punt them back.
Last week, Breach with 2 attempts from 47 and
5-yard penalty.
48, missed both. So they do take the penalty.
Because the Raiders had the option there of declining that penalty if they want to.
Johnson now at midfield. Tim Brown is back deep. And it carries in, so they bring it out to the 20, but there are flags thrown.
Well, that's not what you want from your punter in that situation. That's about as bad a kick as you can kick in that situation. He just punted it straight into the end zone, and that's not what they want from their special teams in that situation. They want to have a chance to down the ball.
Holding 56 of the receiving team. After the kick, after distance to the 20, first down Raiders.
Well, the penalty's on the Raiders after the exchange of possession, so the Raiders are going to be backed up in their own territory.
We'll be back in just a moment.
The Bills. The 49ers. 2 explosive offenses air it out. Next.
The Los Angeles Raiders have to go 90 yards to tie this game. They're down by a touchdown with 7:01 remaining.
Well, this might be their last chance to do it. Long way to go. A lot of pressure on Schrader here.
Steve Smith, Marcus Allen in the backfield. And Schrader completes to Smith, who is pushed out at the 16 by James Francis. James Francis coming up with 2 key plays here in the fourth quarter, including the interception on that last series.
Well, the Raiders going away from the no huddle now because I'm certain that Jay Schrader does not want to risk any communication problem. Want to make sure everybody's in. You notice Dickerson's out of the game. He's the guy that could make a mistake. He hasn't been with the Raiders too long. Marcus in there.
Second down and 4. And it's Smith on the reception for a first down, met by Kevin Walker. Steve Smith, 6-year man out of Penn State.
That's the play they just had intercepted, only they're running it to the left side instead of the right. He comes back with it. That's the 5th time we've seen that fullback angle play today, and that's a big part of the Raider game plan.
5th catch of the day for Smith. Now Schrader to the other side for Allen. Out to the 28. Ricardo McDonald, who's taken over for the injured Ray Bentley, made the stop. Just under 6 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. Alonzo Mitz is hurt. Right defensive end out of the University of Florida. Spent 4 years with Seattle. This is second with Cincinnati.
That's a position that Cincinnati can ill afford an injury. Their defensive line is probably the shallowest unit on their team. They really cannot stand too many injuries on the defensive line area. You see Mitz in the middle of the screen there, piled up and being pushed over one blocker by the other blocker. And sometimes it's inadvertent things happen in those piles. One guy gets low, the other guy is pushing him high, and you can sometimes torque those knees a little bit.
A reminder, Monday it is the season premiere of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Will's got an attitude that's getting him arrested. And on an all-new Blossom, Joey's out for a wild night, but you can bet he'll have to pay the price. The all-new Fresh Prince Blossom Hour, NBC on Monday.
I think Mitz is going to be all right. You can tell sometimes when a player gets that torque initially, that it scares them. They think they've got a knee, and then after they test it out and work with it a little bit, they find out they're still in one piece.
And he's replaced by Mike Fryer, recent pickup on waivers from Seattle, joined the club only last week. Second down and 5. It's another completion. This time the tight end Ethan Horton made the catch. Covered by the right corner Eric Thomas. It's a 19-yard pass play. And the Raiders first down from their 47.
Now the Raiders back in the no huddle. Again, Schrader, Horton wide open. Gets the ball there in a hurry. Horton has to go down, makes a nice cradle catch. But now Schrader's in the freewheeling zone. He can be a little more reckless.
Throws on first down. Good catch by Horton, his 5th reception of the day. Another Raider first down. He did it in front of Rod Jones. 22-yard pickup.
Well, Horton, of course, seems to be the key guy now. Cincinnati's rolling into the wide receivers in a double zone alignment, taking away those wide receivers on the routes. And, of course, Schrader's finding Horton down the seams, and on that last one, he was on a corner pound.
Schrader now 23 for 35, 348 yards. The crowd attempting to rev up the Cincinnati defense. First down at the Cincinnati 32. Schrader fires deep. Willie Gault drawing the double coverage.
Well, again, there's the quick strike zone I talked about. Cross the midfield, first down, go for the touchdown play to Willie Gault. That's what Schrader was doing right there. Got a 2nd and 10 now.
Schrader has thrown for 2 touchdowns, one to Brown, one to Grady. Cincinnati scoring. Green on a 20-yard run. Touchdown pass from Esiason to Fenner that went for 9. And Eric Ball capped off the drive by taking it in from the 1. 4.5 remaining. And the 4th. 2nd and 10 from the 32. And Schrader is taken down. Tripped up by Crumrye. For Cincinnati, it's 3rd sack of the day for Crumrye, his 2nd.
Well, this brings up the key play of the game for the Raider offense now, because I think they'll take 2 downs on this one to try to get the first down. With the clock coming down to 4 minutes, 3rd and long, look for Schrader to try to pick up the first down on 3rd or 4th down. I think they'll take 2 shots at it.
Cincinnati next to last in the NFL in sacks a year ago, 6 last week, 3 this afternoon. It's a 3rd and 15. And Schrader able to complete and has a first down, combining with Tim Brown. Darrell Williams made the stop. A 20-yard advance. The Raiders very much alive. A first down at the Cincinnati 16.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the way Jay Schrader's throwing the ball today. I'll tell you, he has just been really magnificent on the passing game. Close coverage. Brown works back away from Eric Thomas, who has a man-to-man. Schrader and Brown recognize it. Schrader gets it to him. Big, big, big play for the Raiders right there.
Smith and Allen in the backfield. Walt in motion. Marcus Allen accelerating inside the 10. Ricardo McDonald made the stop. Marcus Allen has found a role today as a pass receiver, also carrying the ball.
Well, the big thing here that's changed now about this game is there's no doubt that the Raiders are going to be going for the first down, because, you know, they're down by 7 points. It's a 4-down territory. They're not going for this thing on first down. They got 3 more downs to go.
It's a 2nd and 2 at the 8. And it's Allen has a first down. It'll be 1st and goal. Eric Thomas saved the touchdown.
Well, Marcus getting his first chance of the year to show his running ability. And there's a nice hole on the left side. Bruce Wilkerson and Steve Wisniewski. Allen threw it right down to the 1-yard line for a first down.
2 minutes to go, 4th quarter. Marcus Allen, a major factor in this drive as the Raiders try to tie this game at 21. Marcus has caught 3 passes in all on the day for 49 yards. He's rushed twice for 14. He had been a forgotten man coming off that injury-hit season. He's been slowed by a leg injury. Eric Dickerson has not done it, though, today. 10 carries, 29 yards. And Art Shell is going with a combination of Steve Smith and Marcus Allen on this drive.
But the interesting thing here, Barb, is when do you want to score? I mean, if you score right now, you're giving Boomer Esiason the ball back with a little under 2 minutes and 3 timeouts. You may want to take some time off the clock here before you score.
It's a 1st and goal. And Marcus Allen just walked it in. The Raiders are now within 1.
Cincinnati's defense anticipating the straight ahead, everybody pinching inside, and of course Allen just reads it well and cuts it to the outside. It's a walk-in touchdown, but Cincinnati took a chance there defensively by pinching all inside.
10 plays, 90 yards. Raiders had the ball for 5 minutes and 6 seconds. Jay Schrader 5 for 6 on the drive. And now here's the extra point attempt by Jager, looking to tie the game. And he does. A minute and 55 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Bengals and Raiders are now tied at 21. Marcus Allen walking it in from a yard away, followed by the extra point by Jeff Jager. So the Raiders have come from behind. And Cincinnati and the LA Raiders are now even at 21. And coming up, second part of our doubleheader, most of you will see the Buffalo Bills and the San Francisco 49ers from Candlestick in San Francisco. That is coming up next. Looks like Max Montoya hurt on that last play. Max Montoya played 10 years for the Cincinnati Bengals, signed with the Raiders on Plan B back in 1990.
Yeah, Max has been a real solid veteran guard and one of the better ones in the National Football League for a very long time. But this situation here now is with 1:55 to go and 3 timeouts. This is where your whole team gets tested, both sides of the ball. Your offensive line gets tested by the Raider pass rush. Your receivers get tested by the Raider defensive backs. The Raiders' ability on defense to pressure Esiason gets tested. The clock management, the coaching staff crisis. Now, David Shula has a new coaching staff here. This is the first real crisis situation they've been in. It'll be interesting to see how they're able to manage the clock and manage this situation.
Eric Ball tried to field it, but it got by, so they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. And certainly vivid in the minds of the Los Angeles Raiders, the last-minute drive last Sunday night in Denver that was engineered by John Elway, taking his club 85 yards with only 55 seconds left.
And that has to be going through the defensive players' minds of the Raiders. Hey, is this going to happen to us again this week? It happened last week. You know, can we stop it from happening again? Because, you know, those things are a little bit like the measles, Marv. They're catches. You know, you get one, then you get another one, then you get some more. And all of a sudden, your defense is shaken to the point where they can't stop anybody.
Like the measles. Esiason starting out at his 20-yard line, goes sideline for the possession receiver Brian Brennan, covered by Torin Dorn.
Of course, Boomer has to be extra careful here too, not to make that errant throw over the middle and come with that tip ball, because the Raiders are in the scoring zone if he doesn't. So he's got to be careful too. He's got plenty of time and plenty of timeouts.
Picked up 6, second down and 4. Here's Harold Green, and he's driven short of the first down. Anthony Smith making the stop. Al Davis, president of the general partner of the Los Angeles Raiders. Bengals driving for the first down. Penalty marker is thrown. I don't think Al Davis wants to see another one like last week.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
You know, that's the worst possible time to have a false start. 3rd and 1. You see the left guard moving there. And, you know, Boomer was probably just running that little goose play, the quarterback sneak, where he puts his hands under and the center snaps the ball. The guard anticipated it. And now we bring up a 3rd down and 6. A little different situation.
Please reset the clock. 127. 127.
Minute 27. Remaining 4th quarter. It's a 3rd and 6 back at the 24. Bengals and Raiders tied at 21. Now the lone deep back is Derek Fenner. Short of the first down, Reggie Rembert. Ankle tackle by Terry McDaniel, and the Bengals hear it from the crowd as the punting unit checks in.
Well, the problem there was that Boomer knew who he wanted, and he was able to get the ball to him, but the receiver did not run the route deep enough to get the first down. And so Boomer's a little frustrated. There you see Rembert being jammed up there by Terry McDaniel. He breaks the route off a little too quickly. See, he was afraid he wasn't going to get into the pattern quick enough for Boomer, and of course Boomer knows there that he came up short. You got to credit Terry McDaniel there for the good jam. He forced a little panic situation on Rembert, and as a result, the Raiders are going to get the ball back.
Raiders took a timeout, so they have one timeout remaining. Cincinnati has all three left. Tim Brown is back in single safety, back at his 25-yard line. And Lee Johnson getting set to punt for the fifth time today.
Well, the thing that the Bengals are going to regret if the Raiders can get points here is that penalty. You know, David Shula was talking about they were the third highest penalized team in the league last year. This is something that he wanted to change, reduce the number of penalties. They also had been high on the turnover, 25th out of 28. He wanted to cut down on turnovers and penalties, and sure enough, that penalty may have cost them the game.
Cincinnati also hit with 12 last week in Seattle. And a shank by Johnson. Got the hop, though. Here's Brown. Good coverage by the Bengals. Brown returning across the 40. It's a 38-yard punt and a 9-yard return. Darrell Williams made the stop, so the Raiders take over with 1:08 remaining in regulation.
And there's Bruce Kazurski, the left guard, and of course, when they look at the films tomorrow on that 3rd and 1 situation, he's the guy that was offsides, and you know there'll be a lot of oohs and ahs in the offensive film meeting room when that happens.
1:08 to go in the 4th. Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals tied at 21. Jay Schrader first down at the 42. 24-37, 366 yards. Marcus Allen running wide. And a flag is thrown, and Marcus Allen running very well.
Well, I think there's going to be a holding penalty on the Raiders here.
Holding. Number 68 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's the left tackle, Bruce Wilkerson.
Well, you see him on top of the screen there. He's got his hands around the Cincinnati defender, and of course he just kind of wrestles him down. He's got his left hand on his jersey tight. Now this puts a little more pressure on Jay Schrader with a first down at 20.
6th penalty of the day against the Raiders. Cincinnati also hit with 6. Todd Pete now at right guard for the injured Max Montoya. Some fancy moves by Allen. Clock is running. We are down to 50 seconds remaining.
Well, of course, Jay can't call a timeout here. He wants to save that for the possible field goal. I think if you see the Raiders run the ball again here, they're playing for overtime. I'm not certain that's what they'll do, but...
Well, he's able to complete to Brown. Out to midfield. Stopped by Rod Jones. 14-yard connection. 25 seconds to go now. The clock is stopped. So the Raiders have taken their final timeout.
Well, one of the problems now that Schrader's going to have, if he's able to convert the third down, here you see him going to Brown, comes up about a yard short, what they're going to then have to do in order to get their field goal team in the game, they're going to have to get up on the line and spike the ball, provided the ball is in field goal range. If it's not in field goal range, they're not going to have enough time to run 2 plays with the guys inbounds and get the field goal off.
Ball spotted at the 49, and it's being called a 3rd and about a yard.
And the big thing for the Cincinnati defense is the worst possible thing you could do here is to let the Raider receiver or runner out of bounds, because that plays right into their hands and can serve them the time.
And Steve Smith collecting the first down. Clock is running down to 15 seconds.
He's going to spike it right here. There it is.
And the clock is stopped with 11 seconds remaining.
Well, now you got a choice here. I don't know right now what Art Shell's going to do, but they may run one more play. If they do, they got to get it out of bounds, because if it's in bounds, they're not going to be able to stop the clock. And then try Jager, or they could try the field goal here now, but it's apparently out of Jager's range right now, so they're going to run one more play. And again, if Cincinnati cannot let the Raider guy out of bounds here.
Seconds remaining. And Schrader to put it up. Willie Gault, the intended receiver, covered by Leonard Wheeler, with 6 seconds to go.
The Raiders are going to punt the ball. I'm pretty certain they're not going to. They're going to play for overtime here.
6 seconds remaining. Game tied at 21. No, they will go for it. Jeff Jager with a 59-yard attempt. Career long 53. He missed earlier from 52.
Cincinnati's icing the kicker here with a timeout. You're used to seeing that, aren't you, Mark? Basketball.
Yes, usually a little foul line situation, but Jeff Jager with a 59-yard attempt in front of him. Last Sunday in Denver, Jager hit 2 of 2 from 47 and 34. He's missed his 2 attempts here today. So when we resume, they'll line up again for this long shot attempt.
Well, of course, you know, you don't want to think negatively, but, you know, the only way the Raiders cannot get into overtime here is if this thing is blocked and returned for a touchdown. I've seen a couple of those in my day, and you know, the chances of hitting this 59-yarder, I mean, I would take the shot myself, but they have to be very careful on their protection.
Jeff Gossett will hold. And here it is. It is short and wide, and we go to overtime. That is the end of regulation.
Well, 59 yards, of course, is an awful high expectation for your field goal kicker. Normally, these kickers try to overkick this ball to drive it that distance, and as a result, usually pull it one way or another.
The all-time NFL record, Tom Dempsey was able to connect from 63 yards away. So, as you say, it is a long shot.
Of course, the Raiders, you know, have got to feel pretty good about being down there and having such a long way to go to tie this game. And, you know, Jay Schrader drove the ball the length of the field twice in the fourth quarter. You know, one time they didn't.
Head is the call. There's a head from the toss. The Raiders have won the toss and will receive.
So we head to sudden death overtime. Raiders will receive when we come back. We'll be back after these words from your local station. That is Mike Brown, Vice President, General Manager of the Cincinnati Bengals, like Al Davis, sweating this one out. Last season, Raiders won one and lost one, and in overtime. That's the lifetime record for both clubs. Cincinnati 0-1 in OT last year. They lost to Pittsburgh. Ready and Land, the deep man. The kickoff by Johnson. And we're into the 15-minute sudden death overtime, tied at 21. Here's Dan Land on the return. And he fumbled. Recovered by Cincinnati. Second-year player from Florida A&M, a 12th-round draft pick a year ago on the recovery of the fumble by Land.
Of course, excellent coverage, but you see there, Sam Grady, in an attempt to block for Dan Land, knocked the ball loose from his own runner. I don't think the fumble was stripped by a Cincinnati guy, but the own Raider receiver, Sam Grady.
Cincinnati first down at the Raider 21. This is Derek Fenner moving to the 17.
You see Land carrying the ball in his right arm here, and his own man, Sam Grady, in an effort to peel back and block the Cincinnati guy, knocks the ball loose from his own receiver.
And David Shula not messing around. He's going for the field goal on second down.
Well, I think it's a good call. There's a chance this could be a fake. And sometimes in this situation, you might try a fake here, but the Raiders are icing the kick.
A 34-yard attempt for Breach. Raiders call for the timeout. 57 seconds into overtime. It has come down to a 34-yard field goal attempt by a one-time member of the Oakland Raiders, Jim Breach. His first field goal attempt of the day. He was 0 for 2 last week against Seattle. So David Shula going right for the victory with a second down play at the 16.
Well, this is insurance against the bad snap or the bad hold or the mishandled ball. What you tell your team here is anything that even resembles some mishap, you just fall on the ball and we'll kick it on third down instead of second down. So that's the instructions. Also a possible fake situation here where you fake it on second, throw the ball incomplete if it's not open, and then kick it on third down with the same insurance available to you.
36-year-old Jim Breach getting ready for the 34-yard attempt. Lee Johnson is the holder. It is good. And the 33-year-old head coach David Shula is now 2-0. The Bengals defeating the Raiders in overtime, 24-21.
Everything perfect on this one. Raiders trying to make the best attempt they can to block it, but Breach right down the middle. The mechanics of this thing are just perfect. Kicks it right on rhythm. Good hold, good kick. He knows he's got it.
2 consecutive heartbreaking defeats for the Raiders, while the Cincinnati Bengals, looking to turn it from last year's 3-13, are now 2-0. We'll be right back. A successful home opener for the Cincinnati Bengals in overtime on the field goal by Jim Breach. They've defeated The Los Angeles Raiders 24-21. Coming up next here on NBC, the second half of our NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see the AFC champion Buffalo Bills take on the San Francisco 49ers. Marv Albert, along with Bill Parcells, saying so long from Riverfront in Cincinnati.